Hello, it's Emily Payne here, yet again, the Honest Fago, and I've got an amusing story for you today. Now remember, my subscriptions are really sticking at about 110. People keep, every now and again, someone's unsubscribed, which I find really rude. But it's the stick. I haven't gone up for a long time. So if you can subscribe, if you're enjoying my content, I don't see why you should enjoy it for nothing. Do your bit and subscribe and share and send it out to the world so they can hear my amusing stories. Now, I've been a sex worker for a long time. And as you know, if you've been watching these videos, and doesn't my hair look quite nice today? It's really grown. If you listen to my videos, you know I had it cut disastrously short. It's about coming up 5 months ago now. I saw the hairdresser in the street who did it the other day. I was diplomatic. I don't think she did it on purpose. God knows why she did it, but I don't think she did it on purpose. That was very magnanimous. Anyway, I hate her guts for doing it. Well, I don't. Well, I sort of do. It's grown anyway, and it's looking good today. So I leave it to dry naturally, and sometimes it dries awful, and sometimes it dries all right. Anyway, this is not the point. Jesus, this is not the point. The point is, I've got a funny story for you about my days in escorting, and it's to do with being a little horse. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, a little horse. So we used to go and see this client a few years ago now, and I saw him a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then I never saw him again. And he's probably dead. I don't know. He was quite old, but I used to go out to his little bungalow in a town that shall remain nameless. A town with no name. And the first time he booked us, he will have told us, because if they want something unusual, the clients will always tell you what they want. Ask you if you're prepared to do it, kind of thing. So he had asked me if I would put him on my back and ride round with him on my back like I was a little horse. So I said, yeah, sure thing. Why not? Sure thing. So, and there was other stuff involved as well. But anyway, I'll tell you that when I get to it. So we drove out to his house, little bungalow in a little quiet street. He was, I don't know what he was, maybe he's early 60s, around that sort of age. And went into this bungalow, shabbily decorated. I mean, it was clean and everything. Anyway, that's not the point, how he decorates. His carpet was threadbare, very dated. I won't say any more than that, because like I said, I don't like to give too many clues to, there was a reason why it was dated. Anyway, zip up, lock, throw away key, clank. Anyway, so he wanted me to wear, I think he'd asked me to wear, or I just was wearing. I normally wear a dress. I wear dresses mainly. So he probably asked me to wear a skirt, a black skirt, and a satin. He was into satin. So he told us that. I think at the time I had a black satin blouse. And I think he'd asked us if I had a satin skirt, and I either did have one. Well, anyway, I was wearing a skirt, like a pencil skirt, tight, like a restrictive skirt. And he wanted me to be a little horse. Now, he gave us knee pads, which were a boon. A boon. They were proper knee pads as well, heavy duty kind of, I don't know, from sport, like a sporting knee pad maybe, or something that like roofers use, or people who lay carpets, who were on their knees quite a lot, including prostitutes are on their knees quite a lot. Maybe there are prostitutes' knee pads. Maybe that's how they market them on eBay. I don't know. But they were a boon. I wish I'd got some. I wish he'd given us them. Or they were a boon for being on your knees. I couldn't have done the job if I didn't have those knee pads. So I put these knee pads on. So it's like, oh no, he wanted us to take the blouse off. So I had my bra, satin skirt, hold up stockings, you couldn't see them at this precise minute, and heels. And he wanted me to get on all fours, He was only a little fella. He had a tracheotomy. Now, I had to say that. I don't like to give things away about the client, but he did have a tracheotomy thing, whatever they're called, and a little voice box thing. So when he spoke, he had to kind of hold this thing and talk. So that was fair enough. But more on that later. Now, he was on my back. Now, I'm a big, strong lass. I'm a weightlifter. I lift tremendous weights at the gym. And I was a younger woman then, so I would have been lifting even more tremendous weights. I've never gone around the gym with a little man on my back, but I'll tell you something now, it's a good workout. Look, if you're an experienced exerciser, you're an experienced lifter, you're always looking for new stuff to challenge your body. If you're going to the gym and if you can get a little man to sit on your back while you clip-clop around the gym and nobody minds, then do it, because it's a very good workout. It was working muscles I didn't know I had. And I was in the gym every day. So this is how good it was as a workout. Now, so he was only little. He was probably only like 10 stone. He's a little man. He was like a little jockey. Well, he was like a jockey. Little. And I'm a big, strong lass. So he got on my back. No bother. But I did see, right, the thing is, we're in front of his patio doors. Like my patio doors here. And well, couldn't I see myself in the doors? Well, didn't I have a giggle? I had an internal giggle. An iggle. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to laugh, and you know what I mean? It's insensitive in case he thinks I'm laughing at him. I wasn't. I was laughing at me. I thought, you stupid woman. You're a middle-aged woman. And you're on all four. This was a Sunday dinner time. Sunday dinner time. I thought, what are other middle-aged women doing on a Sunday dinner time? They ain't doing this. They ain't got a little man on their back and knee pads on. I mean, they might. I don't know what people get up to. But they're probably having a Sunday dinner. Let's face it. 9 out of 10 times they're having a Sunday dinner. They're having an argument with their family over the Sunday dinner. I wasn't. I was on all fours. Looking at myself in the patio doors. Oh, anyway, you see some funny things in escorting. You see some funny things. I mean, funny as in disgusting. But that was just funny. You see it all. Oh, God, have I seen it all. Oh. Makes us want to scratch my own eyeballs out and chuck them at my shed over there. Now, so I went off clip-clopping around his house. Now, thank God it was a bungalow, because I'm a big, strong lass, but I'm not going upstairs on all fours with a man on my back. He would have come off anyway. He would have tumbled down those stairs. That's a health and safety no-no. So, we're around his bungalow. And this is when I noticed that his carpet was very threadbare, but that's no matter. That's up to him. It was clean. So I was round his. I think he booked us every time. I think he booked us for an hour and a half. So it was a fair appointment, a fair amount of time. But he used to say, whenever you want a break, I'll get off. You have a little break. Give us a bale of hay. No, he didn't give us a bale of hay. I would have a little break, but I had a couple of breaks. I didn't really need it. Just crack on. Now I used to feel him doing things. Now let's remember, he used to wank. I know he was wanking as we're going round. I could feel it. I could hear it. He was still holding this thing to his neck. And I thought, well, I don't need to hear you have a wank. So why hold the thing? I think he was holding the tracheotomy thing, the voice box thing to his neck. I don't know. Mine's not to question why in those sort of circumstances, right? It's up to him. And then he did something. Now, what did he do? He wanted me to stop at certain times, stop still. And he was doing, he must have just been wanking. That's just, he wanted us to sort of stand still for a bit, and he was doing stuff. Then, at the end of proceedings, once we'd gone round his bungalow and he'd been on me back long enough, I'd had a couple of breaks, he always wanted us to kind of rear up on an armchair. And I don't know if he was kind of then sort of standing on the floor. He must have been, because he wasn't kind of holding on to me for dear life and sort of strangling us with me bridle. I didn't have a bridle on. I think I would have drawn the line at a bridle. You got to draw the line sometimes, and I thought I'd draw the line there. He was wanking furiously. We never had sex. He was wanking. And I remember this now. He brought in a tea towel before the proceedings, and he put it next to this. So this was something he'd planned very much so. Tea towel next to this armchair to catch his spunk. It was a spunk tea towel. Oh, we washed it. So he's wanking, and so I could hear him wanking. I was quite comfortable because I was just kind of on my forearms on the chair. So I was quite comfortable. He was, in some way, his weight had kind of gone off me, but he must have been standing up a little bit and kind of just astride me, but he was wanking. That's why he'd asked us to take the satin shirt off as well, and I thought, that's considerate. That's been very considerate. And, you know, the tea towel as well. So he's very, I didn't end up with spunk on my satin shirt, and he had the wank tea towel there to clean up. Very domesticated, very considerate. Thank you, sir. Whoever you are, I can't remember his name. I wouldn't tell you anyway. So that was that. And when he came, this is the upshot. When he came, with the tracheotomy thing, the voice box thing, he held it. And I thought, well, is that for my benefit? So I can hear you coming. I thought, I don't need to hear it. I can feel it. But whatever, it's up to him. It's neither here nor there to me. 6 and 2 3s to me, isn't it? Coming. So that was that. And I remember asking him. So that was that. I'd just get dressed, and he'd wipe the spunk off my back and all that. Very nice of him. And get dressed. And I do remember saying to him, because he was very much into satin. It was all, he used to buy, I think he bought us a couple of satin things. That's right. He wanted us to buy a satin skirt, and he you know, put the money in my bank. He sent us the money, etc., etc. I think he might have got us a satin blouse, or, you know, he wanted us to have satin. And I says, where's this satin thing come from? What's that about? I said, because I do sometimes ask them when they've got a fetish, and fetishes are so specific, that's, you know, and some of them are weird, and they're not very common kind of thing. I suppose satin, it's not outrageous because you know, there's a lot of like leather or PVC, like fabric fetishes, the feel of things. So satin is just one of them, I suppose. But he said, well, he says, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was, I used to have an auntie when I was little, 6 or 7, when I was littler than he is now, because he was only titchy now. And she was very glamorous, like myself. And she big busted, glamorous, curvy, and she used to wear satin a lot. Satin blouses, you know, skirts and blouses. She was obviously a very stylish lady. And she used to give him piggybacks. She was obviously a big strapping lass like me. I was his auntie substitute. I was a horse / auntie. Auntie horse. And she used to put him on our shoulders, piggybacks. Well, didn't he get little feelings, little tinglings? Ooh. Quite distasteful, really. But that's where it had come from, the satin. You know what I'm saying? Picture the scene. So that's that anyway. So I always think, you know, boys are a slave to this. Some boys who end up with a fetish because they end up spending a lot of money on sex workers once they've got that fetish. So you've got to be careful what you're doing with little boys. It's they're very in their formative years. That's sending them round the bend and fetishy, because they're going to end up spending a fortune on sex workers later in life to satisfy their urges. But anyway, that was the end of that. I saw him a few times, and then, like so many clients, you see them a few times and they never see them again for whatever reason. And that's that really. So I hope you found that fascinating, and I'll possibly be back with another amusing story very soon. Goodbye.